I have a habit of playing games the wrong way, or at least that's what the internet tells me.
I did. I read it on the internet, so it's true.
Whenever I play a role-playing game, I tend to lean harder into the first two letters of that abbreviation, the role-playing part. And I think sometimes we forget that's what a lot of these games were made for in the first place. Each of my characters has their own flaws, their own quirks, and the choices I make only make sense through them. I don't always pick the most broken or overpowered stat. Instead, I ask, what would this character actually use? What skills would they be curious about learning? What path would they take in this world? And I think, somewhere along the way, a lot of us lost that. Hey guys, I'm Strider27 and welcome to my channel. Grab your coffee, your tea, whatever you like, and settle in. Today, I wanted to talk about a subject I've seen brought up time and time again about the right and wrong way to play video games and what we can learn about ourselves in this process. But anyway, let's get into the video. In a world of tier lists, broken builds, and one-shot weapons, we have so many voices telling us we need to play the most efficient way possible just to avoid missing out. But in chasing that, I think you risk optimizing the fun out of the experience. I've said this before in other videos, but it's worth repeating. That mindset can turn the game from an adventure to be enjoyed into a checklist of tasks and items. And in doing that, you run the risk of eliminating the joy of discovering something on your own, especially on your very first playthrough. Now don't get me wrong, min-maxing, optimization, meta builds, that can be its own kind of fun, and I respect it. For some players, that is the game. But for me, that's never been my way of playing. Is my character pumping out the most DPS? Probably not. But am I having fun and still clearing content? Absolutely. And in the context of single-player RPGs, where there's no leaderboard, no one's tracking your numbers, why should it matter if I'm not breaking the game? When every decision becomes about efficiency, we stop playing and start working. For me, that breaks the immersion. It takes me out of the story, and I know I'm not just a power gamer. Honestly, I never have been. I've always liked creating characters that make sense in the world they're in. I like to feel a part of the world and story, and to have my characters carry their own goals and motivations. Some people might say, don't take it so seriously. And maybe that's fair. But just as crunching numbers and chasing the meta is fun for some, I get my enjoyment from weaving my own stories into the narrative. And single-player RPGs are perfect for that. I use them as a vessel for my imagination, which is something I don't get to stretch as much as an adult. And when I look back at all the games I've played, it's always the stories I've told that stay with me, never how much damage my sword did. The beauty of playing inefficiently is that it leaves room for surprises, accidents, and stories. I remember failing a roll in an important moment in Baldur's Gate 3 leading to the loss of an important character. Instead of reloading, I rolled with it and wove it into my character's motivation. It was a huge loss for my character, and they carried it with them to the end. And so lots of times, that means I play unconventionally. For example, I don't like to use fast travel much, unless I really have to go back and forth to the same spot a dozen times. Instead, most of the time, I'd rather just walk. I want to experience the world the devs created for me in a natural way, because you never know what's hidden under the brush or tucked into the corner of a tavern that has zero plot relevance. Those little things, those moments off the beaten path, they're what I'd miss if I were playing efficiently. And that's the problem with treating a game like a second job. You run the risk of optimizing the fun out of it. And another issue with min-maxing is how it creeps into every other aspect of a game. People say, you didn't go to Bleak Falls Barrow first? Well, you need to so you can unlock shouts by this level, or you didn't kill that dragon at level 1 to get all those free runes? No, I didn't. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Now, of course, there's a fine line. Playing inefficiently is not the same as deliberately sabotaging yourself. You still need to build with survivability and damage in mind. But honestly, in most games, as long as you hit a certain threshold, you're absolutely fine. I can count on one hand the number of times my character has been so underpowered that I wasn't enjoying myself. And when that happens, most games these days offer some kind of respec. Optimization might seem safe. Why risk being underpowered when you can calculate your way to win? But with that safety comes a cost. When you follow the path of highest DPS, or always pick the best build, you may miss out on content. You might be so overpowered you nuke a boss that's supposed to give you some trouble. You might miss the weird side quest because it doesn't give you an item that you need for your perfect build. And once again, for me, this line of thinking takes me straight out of the experience and makes it feel like doing homework. And I think the internet culture we've created around video games has caused this to happen. Within hours, sometimes minutes of a game's release, you can just Google the most broken, overpowered build, the best optimal route for a game, and like 5 different tier lists that have already been made by people with early access codes that tell you your favorite class is the worst and why you should never play it. But who cares what these people think? If you were so excited to play a certain class or build, I guarantee you that excitement is going to carry you a lot farther than a broken build you were never interested in the first place will. But all this to say, when it comes down to it, don't let people, including me, tell you how to enjoy your free time. If you find joy in min-maxing and number crunching, do it. It's your game. And if you want to play Mickey the Argonian cheese hoarder, do that too. And don't let anyone tell you you're playing it wrong, because to me, the only way you could possibly play a game wrong is to not enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as of the recording of this video, we've hit over 1,500 subscribers. I still can't believe that. This has been such a fun experience, and I'm so glad that you guys have come along for the ride. I have lots of new ideas on the way, and some different videos to make and try out, and I hope you guys will enjoy those too. But if you guys enjoyed this video, or found any of the information I gave helpful, let me know in the comments. And if anything resonated with you, leave a like. It really helps the channel. And if you want to see more content like this, and other types of RPG content, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy adventuring.